Hi, I hope that you have had a chance to listen to or watch the episode of my conversation with Hilary Lissenden. So it was a personal one for me. Hilary was one of my mentors when I was learning to be a referee in amateur boxing. And she has done so much for me, being in my corner, supporting me and helping me, giving me constructive feedback so that I can improve and progress. So she meant so much to me. And in the episode, you also learn that she has done so much for many other people and for amateur boxing as well. We also touched on this in our conversation, just the importance of having a mentor. And from my conversations with many other female officials, it is crucial. So not only for us to really learn our trade, and also that for someone to really give you that support that you need. And it was really interesting what Hilary said in our conversation. We shouldn't restrict only having female mentors for female officials. There's so much to learn from anybody really who has been in your respective sport. And especially men have been in the space for so long, and they will have some invaluable knowledge to teach any upcoming new officials. Of course, there would be things that perhaps male officials wouldn't understand what female officials are going through. That's completely fine and that's fair. So I think that you don't need to restrict yourself with one particular mentor. You learn from everybody. You pick things that you really like and you really respect out of that person and learn from them and ask questions. And, then you would be able to form your own style. And I think it's just really important to understand that having mentors are really important. The second point I wanted to take from the conversation is that there are actually so many roles and so many areas in sports that one can take part in, right? So obviously, we all focus on being the athletes, but there are so many other roles that really make the sport. Right. So not just boxing, any sport. So you need your coaches, you need your officials, you need spectators, you need a lot of volunteers, you need a lot of helpers, and just in and around the sport to make things happen, right? You need event organizers, you need people that manage logistics. So I just think that for anybody who is interested in being part of the sport, please don't feel like you need to be the athlete. Okay, so you can you can take part in the sport for fun, for health reasons, for fitness reasons. That's absolutely fine. But you don't need to feel like that's really restrictive. There are so many other roles in sport that you can take part in. I think that's the inclusiveness that Hilary was talking about, and encouraging all national governing bodies to really think about how to keep that ecosystem going for any sport. So I think that's a really great point. And I definitely think that it's something for us to think about. Two other points I wanted to say that's quite crucial in my afterthoughts. It's really kind of more like life lessons derived from talking about sport and from what Hilary said. One of the things is when we're talking about her professional life, so her work, she made a throwing comment about she had a weird CV. And so just to kind of recap that she was in publishing, and then she went to work for the regional government, and then now she's in higher education. And then, yes, they're all quite different. But what I really admire and respect is the pivoting, right? Like why do we have to confine ourselves that, oh, that's my career path and that is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? We don't need to do that. As certain different kind of stages in our life that we can just choose, like whatever that feels right at the moment. So she made a point that when she got the job in higher education, her current role, she said it was the right move for her at the time. And I respect that so much, that it doesn't matter that it's a completely different sector. Even though the role that she does, probably there's some similarities in there. But I admire the courage for pivoting, and for any one of us, like, age is definitely not a part of this kind of discussions, right? Just keep going, and when opportunities arise, no matter how kind of out of the blue or how different or strange from what you were doing, take the opportunity, and who knows where it will lead you, right? And I just think that even though she commented that she had a weird CV, but not at all. I think everything is accumulation of your experience and your skills, and you learn from so many different areas of work, of life, and you are who you are as a combined experience of what you have done and have achieved so far in your life. So, try different things. Why not? And my final point is she mentioned about that she felt less enjoyment as she moved up the ladder as being a boxing referee and judge, and especially more like at the international level. So what Hilary mentioned was that, well, at some point in life, like whatever you're doing, you need to really reflect and think that whether it's worth it. Do you actually still find joy out of what you're doing? And think about your own mental health. Is it affecting your mental health at that stage? And you might just have to really reflect and make the decision for yourself, right? That's the ultimate self-care, that knowing that whatever you're doing and what kind of impact that it has on you, and make a decision for yourself, either to stay in or to walk away. And I think, obviously, in Hilary's situation, that she chose to walk away. It could be temporarily, it could be permanent, we don't know. But I think that's courage, and there's really a quiet power within that. Just, I choose myself. And I think that's really important for all of us, especially for women. I think a lot of times I would kind of feel like, oh, maybe we don't have a choice, that we need to keep doing what we're doing, and then we almost feel like we're stuck. But actually, no, we always have a choice, right? There's freedom in having that choice. And really just think about ourselves. We need to look after ourselves before that we're able to look after others and to do things for others. So I think it's so important to bring up that point. So these are my afterthoughts after having my conversation with Hilary Lissenden. If you haven't listened or watched the episode, it's really worth listening to it. And she speaks with so much wisdom, so much authenticity and honesty. So definitely have a look or have a listen. Thank you. Bye.